Hey there, YouTube land, and tonight I'm doing another gift ideas video. Basically, I'm just taking some stuff out of my own collection to give you some ideas of some different stuff that you can pick up for your loved ones this year. Uh, my video's not as great tonight. I apologize. I'm not in the greatest of moods, but I wanted to get something done in there. And I'm missing my better half. A lot. And I'll be completely honest, I'm hoping that doing this is going to get my mind off it for a bit. So I've done a combination of DVD and Blu-ray, mostly singles, a couple sets. I'll let you know why I think they're good choices and who I think they're good choices for. First off is a Shape Factor edition, and it's the Sci-Fi movie marathon. If you've got somebody that likes kind of like science fiction or really cheesy stuff, if you have somebody that watches a lot of Mystery Science Theater, this is going to definitely be for them. It has Arena, Eliminators, America 3000, and the Time Guardian. It's a 2-disc set, and it has some pretty cool cheesy stuff on here. There are no features to speak of, but it is 4 movies for a very inexpensive price. You can usually get this for $9.99 or less. And the Time Guardian does have, well, Carrie Fisher and Dean Stockwell, so that's 2 actors from 2 different science fiction films. A different one to grab up for somebody that I'm sure they'll have fun with, and one to put in the stocking. And come on, just look at the covers of these movies. Stuff like Eliminators. Isn't that awesome? Next up, I wanted to give you an anthology one, but I wanted to do something different. Everybody is going to be grabbing Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror. Well, hopefully, this holiday season. I haven't got it myself yet. Hopefully, I'll be able to get that one down the road. But here's one that you can get that's a little bit different, and you can get it for a good price, too. People tend to underrate this one, and it is Tales from the Hood. Love the cover to this one here. I think this is actually an extremely fun little film. I got to watch this one again. I haven't seen this one in a while. Clarence Williams III, of course, is Mr. Sims, the mortician in this, telling the stories. And it has a fantastic cast. It's just very fun. It's very lighthearted, but it has some dark, dark stuff. And I think it's a great little anthology that people really, really don't take the time to look at sometimes. If you're a fan of horror, like science fiction, I love the classic, or if you're a fan of the Fly series, Fly franchise, maybe you've got the Cronenberg edition, or maybe you've got that the one that came out and went to a lot of different places, like Walmart and stuff like that, and had like the 3 Fly films, like Fly and Return to Fly and Curse to Fly. You're probably wondering, or probably disappointed that there was not very many features on it. Well, what you need to get is a collector's edition of The Fly 2. It usually runs for a fairly cheap price. I got this one for something brand new, and cool little slipcover. And The Fly 2 is not everybody's favorite one. I do enjoy it, so it was a plus to get this movie for me. But the big thing that people get this one for is there is an in-depth documentary chronicling the entire Fly movie series. Yes, I guess they knew that not as many people were going to buy The Fly 2 as were going to buy the other films, so they waited and put the big Fly documentary right on this one here, and it really is worth seeing. So if you're interested in the Fly films and the Fly franchise, and maybe even holding out on getting this one because you're not as sure because it doesn't get the good rating that some films do, it's worth it for the documentary alone. And it's not a bad film. It's really, really not. Speaking of some underrated stuff, the 3-disc anniversary edition of the Rocky Horror Picture Show Shock Treatment. And yes, I do have the Blu-ray of this one here, but this one here has not come out on Blu-ray. In actuality, this one here is harder to find. Both of these have some great little features on them. Of course, Rocky Horror Picture Show is the one that's loaded with more features, but I'm a big fan of Shock Treatment. I think that was a great film, and so there's some fantastic music in both of these. If you've got somebody that's more on the offbeat side like myself, or likes musicals like I do, then the Rocky Horror Picture Show Shock Treatment double feature really is the way to go, because if they don't have these movies, they'll be glad to finally have them in their collection. Next up is from an Italian director, and it's from an Italian company. and it is Raro Video, and it is Murder Obsession by Rocco Friedi. A very, very cool film. Rocco Friedi actually directed, kind of, partially directed, the very first, talking horror film that did come out of Italy, and just some extremely cool stuff. If you haven't seen this one, I think it's really, really a fun film. It has a great cast. There's some nice death scenes in this one, and again, they always put the booklet. I really can't show you the booklet because there's actually some nude sequences in it, but it's a great one. The next one is a harder find, but if you can get it, it will delight any comic book fan that you know, and that is the Spider-Man 67 collection. Of course, we know that the Spider-Man series is now owned by Sony, and they're putting out movies whether we want them to or not, and whether they're good or not. But this is a 6-disc set, and it has both seasons of Spider-Man. This series ran from 1967 to 1970. There's 52 episodes, a lot of really cool stuff. There's the booklet. You have some. There's the pictures of the discs right there. Some great stuff by Ralph Bakshi, and this is a Spider-Man that most people honestly grew up with. You know, there's the 90s Spider-Man that a lot of people saw, like younger people, but 9 tenths out of 10, if you were a kid growing up back in the day, this Spider-Man here was probably the first Spider-Man you saw. Paul Soles did the voice, and he did a great job. Next up is a classic one, and it's a good one. You can find this sometimes in a set of this actor, but if you want to just grab this movie, if you don't want to like get the expensive set, like this is actually a pretty damn good edition, and it's the Maltese Falcon 3-disc special edition. Now, what makes this one so cool, aside from having the Maltese Falcon, the whole Night the Movies thing, we got a commentary here, we got like shorts, cartoons, all the works, but this 2 and 3 are really, really cool. We have 2 more versions of the Maltese Falcon. Of course, the one with B.B. Daniels and Ricardo Cortez. Ricardo Cortez was a very different actor for the role of oh my God, Sam Spade. Yes, I am totally blanking tonight. Sorry, guys. He's very smiley, very different, a little on the slimy side in his way. And that was Cortez's thing. And then there's Satan Met a Lady, which stars Betty Davis, another very different version of the film. And of course, the Maltese Falcon on One Magnificent Bird, a really cool documentary. Robert Osborne hosts Becoming Attractions, the trailers of Humphrey Bogart, really worth checking out. Breakdowns, and of course, like I said before on one of my other videos, I really love radio adaptions, and there are 3 radio adaptions of the Maltese Falcon on here, including one that has Edward G. Robinson. Next up is a documentary for the wrestling fans out there, and it's one of the classics, and I'll be right back in a second. Second part of your video, wear a different shirt. Literally, that's why I did it. Hello again, and you know the best way to tell when you're doing the second part of your video? Wear a different shirt. Literally, that's why I did it. I had to go off and do something, and when I came back, I said, I want to know where one part of the video stops and one part of the video starts, so I just switched my shirt. Hitman Hart, Wrestling with Shadows. This is a great documentary, really interesting. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's actually a fantastic documentary to watch. And to just see what goes on over this year. It follows Bret the Hitman Hart for basically a year, and what year they chose. Everybody knows about the Montreal Screwjob, and it just lets you know how it got up to that point. This is the 10th anniversary collector's edition, which includes the life and death of Owen Hart, a separate documentary on its own disc as well by the same people, and I really recommend it. So if you're going to grab this one, it's worth grabbing that documentary, the 10th anniversary edition, to get that extra documentary. Sorry guys, I'm not on my best tonight. For all you Preco fans out there, and I know there's a few of you guys, so I've shown this one a while back. I found this one for really, really cheap. It was a favorite of mine, And I was so glad to find it again. It was really hard to find for a while. And I think this one is actually, or was on sale on it might have been Amazon CA for like 20 something bucks. So get it while you can, because it is the Pre-Code Hollywood Collection. It has 6 different movies: The Cheat, Merrily We Go to Hell, Hot Saturday, Torch Singer, Murder at the Vanities, and Search for Beauty. Has a wide selection of varied type of pre-code films. We got guys like Cary Grant, Frederick March, we have Randolph Scott, Claudette Colbert's in this, Sylvia Sidney, Tula Bankhead, Nancy Carroll. Just a really cool one. And while we're talking about movies, but like before, like documentaries and stuff, here's one that everybody should have in their collection. You know, it's kind of fun. And it is King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. This is a really excellent documentary. There's over 9 minutes of extra features on here, some really cool stuff. And you know what's really, really cool that a lot of people don't showcase on this thing enough? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a minute out of my video, but deserves to be done. This movie here actually has an alternate art done by J. Scott Campbell. And here we go. Just really, really cool, unique artwork. It's a little bonus that they added there, and a lot of people don't, either they don't realize it. I mean, it's said like pretty big that Scott Campbell did the artwork, did alternate art on it here as well, but I don't really see people mentioning or showing it that much when they do videos on this. King of Kong is an excellent documentary, one that I'm probably going to watch tonight, actually. Gotta say, it's one that I've loved for a long time, and it's a constant watch for me. Next up is something for the kids and all of us. This was an exclusive to Walmart only, and it's the Mickey Mouse Season 1. This really, it captures the manic craziness of the original Mickey Mouse cartoons. You really owe it to yourself to check this out. They're short cartoons. They don't run too long. They just are completely crazy manic stuff. There's some amazing stuff in here. I'm trying to think of my favorite, but they're all so good. Definitely one to pick out. You know, it's just one disc edition there, and check it out. It's really an awesome show. The next two are kind of musical related, so don't worry, I get Blu-rays if you're not into musicals. Pitch Perfect 2 has been announced, and it actually has gotten some really big hype and praise behind it, because a lot of people actually realize, hey, Pitch Perfect was actually a really good movie. So Anna Kendrick didn't start there, and no, we're not going to be talking about Twilight. We're going to talk about the place where I think Anna Kendrick did one of her best songs, and it was a Steven Soderbergh song. There is some great music in this movie, and sometimes when I'm down, I watch this, and it reminds me of my youth. I was a performer, and it was a huge part of my life. Acting was at a time for a long time. Acting was the only thing that I really felt I could do. That the only place I felt comfortable was on stage. I moved around a lot, and I was okay to making like some friends and stuff, but I was an awkward kid. No bones about it. I was an awkward kid, and I like to go and act and direct and write, but mostly you could be assured that if I was in a school and we were doing a play, I was going to go for the most interesting part in that play, and I was going to get it, because that was the one thing that I felt confident about. I mean, I wasn't great with sports. I didn't have enough, wasn't like a team sport guy. And acting tended to be the one thing. Anyway, the movie is called Camp. It's one I've mentioned on here many times. As you can tell, that's Anna Kendrick, right there. She is very young in this film. So you're not going to see the sexy Anna Kendrick that you see now in Pitch Perfect. You're going to see a much younger Anna Kendrick before she became the star that she is now. Though she does put off a star performance when she sings the song "Ladies Who Lunch" by Steven Soderbergh. It's a fantastic song. I'm a big theater fan, and with theater, there's a lot of music. There's a lot of musicals. I was not a good singer ever, a good singer, so I cannot tell you that I was, but I would love to have been. My father was a great singer. My mom could sing, and I couldn't. I was an actor, but I really wanted to do a lot of the musicals, and I managed to do like a few when I was in school, and I was like on off Broadway productions and stuff like that. Basically, because I watched Rex Harrison back in the day, and Rex Harrison couldn't sing a lick, but he could talk, and that was how he managed to do it. I mean, the music played during his stuff in Dr. Dolittle and My Fair Lady, and there was fantastic singers around him, or dub singer voices, but he spoke it. He spoke the words, and he managed to do it in a melodic enough way that you did not realize that the guy was not actually doing any real singing. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent again, and I apologize. Camp is a fantastic movie. There's this kid here. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. I haven't checked on Google recently, but he does an amazing rendition of "Wild Horses" by the Rolling Stones, and just has some incredible stuff in this. Next up is one that not a lot of people talk about. I'm guessing it didn't do as well as was expected. Myself, I found it really interesting to watch. I'm a big fan of Joan Jett, and being so, I was also a big fan of the Runaways back in the day. I thought they were stunningly cool. And when the movie The Runaways came out, I knew I had to get it. Basically, we got Kristen Stewart here, Joan Jett, and actually she looks really a lot like her right there. And Dakota Fanning is Cherry Curry, of course, who she would act as well. And I'm pretty sure that if you're a fan of the Halloween films by Rob Zombie, I think Scout Taylor Compton is in this one here as well. I'm not sure if she plays Lita Ford or... Anyway, Michael Shannon does a great star training performance in this one here. So I wanted to put in some Blu-rays as well. I didn't just want to do those, so I wanted to grab some stuff. Some of the stuff you've seen, because I've shown them in my other sets and stuff that I've been doing, but I just wanted to like show some from different Blu-rays you can grab. For the action fan, I don't have to talk about this one too much. It's the Chuck Norris collection, and this is a good one. There's a DVD edition of this, but it only has 4 films. This one actually has 5, and it has them in the right aspect ratio, which the DVD editions usually don't. If you look at the Death Wish edition that came out on DVD and the Death Wish edition that came out on Blu-ray, they're almost totally identical. They both have 2, 3, and 4 in it, except for one thing. The DVD edition is full screen, and the Blu-ray edition's in its original aspect ratio. This one here has Code of Silence, which is a really cool movie. I think I'm not sure. I think it's Henry Silva's in that one. Hello with McQuaid. I know that one has David Carradine. Missing in Action, of course. Missing in Action 2, The Beginning, which is, as I told you before, one I really like. And the Delta Force, which Arrow Video put out a really cool edition of, apparently. But this is a great way to get 5 really cool Chuck Norris films. If you don't have them, definitely worth checking it too. Next up is, I wanted to put in one Snaps here. And I went back and forth on which one to put in. But at the end of the day, I know that I went for the more commercial one that a lot of people are going to want to grab if they haven't grabbed it for their for Halloween. It's a great one to put under the Christmas tree if they don't have it. And it's Prom Night. It's just one of the best transfers that I've seen this year. Synapse did an amazing job with this. There are some great features on this one as well. We've got commentaries on here. We got a great featurette, some excerpts from. And by the way, you got to get the Blu-ray edition. The Blu-ray edition has more features on it, and it's $5 cheaper usually. But it has some features that are scenes specifically for the television broadcast as well, and some outtakes that haven't been seen before. Next up is one from Draft House Films, and that one is a really cool documentary called Band Called Death. This is basically right there. Before there was punk, there was these guys. And they're not what you would think when you think of a punk band. We all think of Sid Vicious. We think of all that stuff, but Band Called Death was an amazing, amazing group. And it does have, like many of these drafters, ones I think they all do, a alternate artwork cover as well. I'm a huge fan of this film. I think it's definitely one to check out. And a great documentary. I've mentioned Marley many times on here, so I was going to put that one in there, but I didn't because basically, well, you guys know that if you watch my channel, that Marley is a great documentary, but definitely if you're a fan of punk music and you're just really a fan of like some intriguing, interesting documentaries, it's one to check out. The next two are animated ones, and ones that I wanted to get in there. One is Justice League War. This is basically the starting place for anybody that's been collecting a lot of the DC animated stuff for their whole New 52 era, where they're basically going on and right now they're doing a lot of the New 52 stuff, Batman and Sun and all this kind of stuff. It all starts with this one here, Justice League Origin. And otherwise, well, that's what it's based on. It's actually Justice League War is what it's called here. Really, really cool. They changed one character in there, but I kind of dig it. Exclusively on the Blu-ray, it's got some neat stuff. Creating Heroes, the life and art of Jim Lee, one of my favorite artists. Justice League War Act D, animatic to pencil test, and from the vault there's 4 vintage cartoons. I can't remember what they are right now. We have Deconstructing War with J. Olivia and Jim Lee, and a sneak peek of their next film, which was at the time Son of Batman. Next up is, this is just the first part because I never did manage to grab the second part. I really need to get it, or get like the edition that has both of them. And it's the Dark Knight Returns. Very, very cool. I love this film. I watched this first part many, many times, but I have yet to see the second part. And definitely worth checking out, guys. Really a good one. Some decent features on here, and then again, get the Blu-ray. They have some really exclusive features on here. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns digital comic. Her name is Carrie. Her role is Robin featurette. Batman and Me, the Bob Kane story featurette. I think that's a pretty long one, actually. There's 2 bonus cartoons as well, and a preview of The Dark Knight Returns, Part 2. For our TV watchers, and for the people who are just getting into it, today Flash aired its mid-season finale, and it was freaking incredible. If you haven't seen it, really check it out. Get back and watch those Flash episodes because they're really good. But the show that really started it all is definitely worthy of your attention. That is Arrow, the complete first season. It comes out here with Blu-ray, DVD, and Ultraviolet. And I mean, it is amazing. We have like 4 discs that are here on Blu-ray. We have 5 discs that are on DVD, and the Ultraviolet code as well. That's pretty awesome. And season 1 did have some pretty amazing stuff. Some really, really cool stuff. And some nice featurettes as well. So, what are they? Well, check it out. Want a Christmassy horror film? Here's one that I don't mention enough when I talk about Christmas horror, which I definitely have to watch this Christmas. It's the Gremlins 25th Anniversary Edition. I love the Gremlins. I saw this movie in theater back in the day. I was so in love with Phoebe Cates. She was amazing in this. There's some great stuff in this. I wish there was more features. There's a cool making of featurette. There's 2 commentaries and all that, but I want more. I want a bigger edition of this one done. This is a really good movie. Last but not least is one that I got myself as a surprise present for Christmas last year. I did not know I was getting this. It was a strictly limited edition. There's a 3,000. The first 3,000 of these had a extra documentary on it. And if you don't have this, really, really do pick it up. It's by Sevron, and it is House on Straw Hill. Now, I must warn you before you watch this movie, there are a lot of more adult themes and nudity and stuff within this film. The movie stars Udo Kier and Linda Hayden and Fiona Richmond. And it's a great film, but what's really fantastic about this is the Ban the Sadist video documentary. It is one incredible documentary. Now, this does have a great interview with Linda Hayden. She's not the biggest fan of this movie, actually, guys, but she talks about all the movies that she does like as well. There's an audio commentary on here as well, theatrical trailer. But again, if you can get the one that has this documentary, really do so. It's incredible. It's got the Blu-ray, DVD, and the documentary on here as well. Just some incredible stuff to pick up. There you go, guys. Under 20 minutes for a change. And those are some DVDs and Blu-rays that I hope I got a wide enough berth of different stuff there that you can choose from. There are many others that I can choose, and many others I'll be picking up from my own collection I'm talking about. Keep an eye on Amazon.ca. Right now, they've been having a lot of flash sales, especially late at night. I just missed out on a Barbara Stanwyck collection. And if anybody knows me and my like of Barbara Stanwyck, I'm kicking myself. So, guys, have an amazing night. I gotta get some tea and try and relax a bit. The big lobster head is saying hi. The kettle is calling for me to get my tea, so it's time for tea. And have a great night, guys. Y'all deserve it.